Introduction: The Woman with the Whip.
At first, she looks like an anonymous woman from an old postcard. A theatrical dress, a reversed chair, a thin whip lifted above the frame. The image is playful, but carefully controlled. It is not a private moment. It is a pose made to be seen. Then the caption gives her a name, Miss Lily Elsie. And once we know the name, the single image begins to multiply. Lily with a fan, Lily in a hat, Lily on stage, Lily in a garden, Lily printed, sold, collected, and sent through the post. This film is not only about an actress. It is about how a face traveled before the feed, before Instagram, before television, before most people knew movie stars. In Edwardian Britain, a public image could already move through thousands of hands, small enough to fit in a pocket, strong enough to make a woman unforgettable.
Chapter 1: The Postcard Machine.
The reason Lily Elsie's image could travel was not only fame, it was infrastructure. By the early 20th century, the postcard had become one of the simplest ways for an image to move through everyday life. It did not require a gallery. It did not require a theater ticket. It did not even require a newspaper. A postcard could be bought in a shop, placed in an album, kept in a drawer, pinned near a mirror, or sent across town with a few lines written on the back. That is what makes these images different from formal portraits. They were small, reproducible, commercial. A photograph became a unit, printed in series, numbered, captioned, sold, collected, and the actress was perfect for this system. Theater gave the public a face to recognize. Photography froze that face. The postcard multiplied it. In Lily Elsie's case, the repetition is visible on the cards themselves. Different costumes, different poses, different roles, different versions of the same public identity. Sometimes she appears as a character from the stage, sometimes as a fashionable woman, sometimes almost as if the viewer had been invited into a private moment. But the intimacy was manufactured. Some cards went even further. The photograph was tinted, softened, surrounded with flowers, turned into something decorative as much as photographic. From the card alone, we cannot know exactly who profited from every copy, but we can see the system: photographers, publishers, theaters, shops, collectors, the postal service. This was not yet the age of the screen. It was paper, ink, commerce, and desire. A slower machine than the feed, but already a machine for making a face public.
Chapter 2: The Actress as an Image.
But this machine did not create celebrity out of nothing. It worked best when there was already a stage, a role, and a public waiting to recognize a face. Lily Elsie belonged to the world of Edwardian musical comedy, a theater of costume, gesture, music, and repeatable roles. On some postcards, the caption tells us exactly how to read her. Miss Lily Elsie as Sonia in The Merry Widow, or as Alice in The Dollar Princess. The card is not simply a portrait. It is a compressed theater advertisement. Name, role, production, pose. The stage performance happened at night, in a specific theater for a paying audience. But the photograph detached that performance from the theater. It turned one role into an image that could leave the building. This is why the actress was such a useful figure for early celebrity culture. She already lived between person and character, public and private, fashion and performance. A postcard of Lily Elsie did not have to show the whole play. It only had to make the viewer feel that the play and the woman in it were already known. The stage gave her visibility. The camera gave her a surface. The postcard gave that surface mobility.
Chapter 3. Public Intimacy.
Not every postcard presents Lily Elsie as a role. Some do something quieter. They move her away from the theater and place her in a softer world. A hat, a fan, flowers, a garden, a window, an umbrella. These images seem less public, almost private, but that privacy is part of the construction. The viewer is not meeting Lily Elsie herself. The viewer is being offered an image of nearness. A face turned slightly over the shoulder, a hand holding flowers, a pause in a garden, a look that feels personal because it has been carefully arranged to feel personal. This was one of the postcard's strongest effects. It could make a famous performer appear available, familiar, almost close enough to keep. Not on a stage, not behind footlights, but in an album, a drawer, a pocket, a room. The intimacy was manufactured, but that does not make it unimportant. It shows how early celebrity culture learned to turn distance into possession. You could not know Lily Elsie, but you could own her image. And for a postcard star, that was part of the point.
Chapter 4. Before the feed.
It is tempting to call this an early form of Instagram, but that would be too simple. There was no personal account, no instant posting, no algorithm, no direct control over the image by the woman whose face was being circulated. The system was slower, physical, and commercial. A photograph had to be taken, printed, published, bought, kept, sent, handled. But in one important sense, the logic feels familiar. A face became repeatable. A pose became recognizable. A public identity was built through variation. Not one image, but many. Not one audience, but many small encounters. In shops, in albums, in letters, in magazines, in private rooms. Lily Elsie's postcards show a moment before the modern celebrity feed, but already, after the age when fame depended only on being seen in person, her image could travel without her. It could arrive before the performance, remain after the performance, and survive long after the performance was gone. That is why these cards matter. They are not just souvenirs of an actress. They are evidence of a new visual condition, a person becoming public through repetition.
Closing. The face that traveled.
A related postcard clarifies the whip. Lily Elsie appears with Gabrielle Ray and Grace Pinder in The Little Cherub in 1906. The scene points to a song called "I Should So Love to Be a Boy," a comic fantasy of girls wanting freedoms coded as masculine, sport, movement, even riding a horse astride. So the whip is less a weapon than a theatrical sign: control, mobility, performance.
So we return to the woman with the whip. At first, she looked like a strange figure from an old postcard, playful, theatrical, almost anonymous. But the caption gave her a name, Miss Lily Elsie, and the other cards show what that name became. Not one portrait, a series, a face repeated through roles, costumes, shops, albums, magazines, and the post. Some cards softened her, some tinted her, some surrounded her with flowers, but the logic remained the same. The image could travel without the person. Lily Elsie did not need to be present for her public image to keep moving. That is what these postcards preserve. Not only an actress, not only a fashion, but an early machinery of celebrity. Paper, ink, photography,
And desire, turning one woman's face into something thousands of people could hold.
Every old photograph keeps more than it first reveals. On reading frames, we look again. Subscribe for more stories from archival photographs.